So I'm sometimes asked, what are the types of camera mounts that I use to make my videos with? Well, what you see before you is the sum and total of all the camera mounts that I've used, with the exception of this one that I'm using right now. This is it. This is what I've used for every one of my videos, and I've got quite a few different techniques that I use to use these, but I'm going to show you these different improvised gear camera mounts. Well, the first camera mount that I ever used was this one, and this was a spur of the moment thing. I was going on a kayak trip the next morning and I needed something to hold my camera. So I took a board, drilled a few holes through it, put a 3/16 inch bolt in a couple different spots, and I added a little mount on the bottom on two sides. These are from mini blinds. They actually hold the frame of the mini blind, and this would fit right on my kayak. And that was my first ever used camera mount for my videos, and I'll show you a clip of this.
Okay, here's number 2. Yeah, I hook this guy good. Tore his lip. I'm definitely keeping him. Number 2, supper also.
The next one I made was actually quite the same. It's just a piece of wood with a 3/16 inch bolt through it. The difference is I added a wing nut for better control, and I also added a sealing washer so that that sealing washer would snug against the camera and prevent some of the wobbling and movement. I also added a couple legs so I could adjust this on my dashboard in different spots so it would be even and wouldn't wobble around. And I'll show you a clip of that. Next, I got into pole mounts. Whether in the kayak or in the wilderness, pole mounts serve me well. And how I made this one was simply by taking a couple pieces of tubing. Now this was meant to be a trellis for something, like a rose or a vine. Took some tubing, I duct taped them together, and the end with a hole in it, I simply flattened out and stuck a bolt through it. Now because I go in the water a lot, titanium was a good choice of bolt. And by the way, if you haven't picked up on it yet, 3/16 inch bolts, nuts, wing nuts, sealing washers or washers, whatever you can find, and you've got a mount started for you. Simply thread it through a wing nut on it, bolted it in place, threw a wing nut on it, and I have a mount. I added a little lanyard that I could carabiner to the kayak because metal sinks. Don't want to lose my camera and mount when I drop it in the water. And I'll show you a clip of that one. So I wanted to take a step up from my kayak camera mount. So what I did is I made a dashboard for my kayak out of a piece of cutting board. Okay? And what I did is I took a couple blocks of wood, added some Velcro to them, screwed another piece of that cutting board to the block of wood, cut some holes in the top of it, and I took another one of those tripods. I busted the legs off, put the tripod that remained down into the holes, and melted some of the cutting board around it. So it actually is snug in there. It's not going to move. And again, you can adjust it to any angle. You can pick it up, move it around for handheld shots, turn it any way you want. And this has been used in many of my recent videos. In fact, my Delaware Upper kayak trip was film with this mainly, and this.
That's tight. Alright, well I got a fish on right now, hon. Sorry. Yeah. Yep.
So then I wanted to take a step up, so I went to the dollar store and bought an actual tripod for a camera. And this cost me $1. It's very cheaply made, but it does work. And this is something I use even in my current videos. I use this all the time when I carry a pole mount. Simply a walking stick with a tripod duct taped to it, and you can adjust it like this for the different angles you need. Use it all the time when I carry a pole mount. Lastly, another piece that I use all the time, I went all out and spent $10 on an LED light with tripod. And it comes with the standard mount, a 3/16 inch mount, which will fit a camera. And this I use all the time. In fact, anytime I go into the woods or in my kayak, wherever I go and I'm going to be filming, I always have this with me. And the reason is it fits right in a pocket. Straight out like this, it fits in a cargo pocket or a jacket pocket, but you can also collapse it a little bit. It'll fit in a smaller pocket. And it also, because of the flexible legs, it can be mounted in many different ways. And if you have no other option, no pole mount, you could create a pole mount by simply attaching it to a stick, like so. This was probably the best investment I made for camera mounts. And it cost me, I believe, $9.99. Now I'll probably upgrade in the future. Oh, I have one more to show you, and that's the one I'm using now. This is a guitar microphone stand. For someone that's playing and singing using a guitar, you would use this mount. And what I did is I took that pole mount idea and combined it with my guitar microphone mount. And this idea right here is not mine. This was given to me by a friend, this little piece of PVC with the bolt through it. But I simply put it on my pole and duct taped it and electrical taped down, and that's what I use for many of my videos where you see me sitting down and talking. There is another idea out there. It's another idea I got from a friend, and that's PVC camera mounts. I haven't made one yet. I probably will in the future. They're excellent mounts for stationary places like in your kayak. But there you have it. Hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you in the next video.